Hello, I am Chris Pickard, Director of Body Imbalance, and I'm here today to talk to you about backs, back pain. That's the front and the back discs. You've probably heard of a slip disc. You may even have one or think you have one. You may even think you've got sciatica. Well, what I'm going to do today is explain three of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to addressing back pain, not just short term, but long term. And this video is designed to be part of a series of videos. So if you're only seeing this video and you want access to the rest, then reach out, let me know, comment below the video if you found this on YouTube, email me, ring the clinic, and we can send you the rest. And I'm going to go through the three mistakes, some of the things you can look out for, some things you can probably start doing straight away, especially if you sign up for the rest of the series as well, and what to do next if you're stuck. So I'm going to start with a concept that I learned from Dave O'Sullivan. He's one of the physios for the England rugby team, based up in Huddersfield. So if you're in Huddersfield, by all means go and see him. And he's called this the Pitfall cycle. And these notes, I'm sorry if you can't read these. Again, I can actually send you my notes if you want them. And these are more here to help me, help you, and stay on track with what we need to do. So, common pitfall, people are in pain, then they often resort to painkillers, or rest, and then they get some relief, and then the pain comes back again. Because it's a commonly held belief that if you have back pain, it's going to last for about 6 to 8 weeks. But what isn't really realised is that for 50%, at least 50% of the people that get back pain, once they're going to get it every year. It's going to be recurrent. It's going to keep coming back. And that's the problem, is because people think it's gone away once, it's not going to come back. But it's 50% chance it's going to come back. Primarily because when you just do this, because painkillers actually interfere with the actual healing process. So you end up with ligaments that aren't as strong or muscles that aren't as strong as they could be. And you don't change your habits. So you basically have another injury. It may even be to the exact same spot and you're back in pain again. Now, you may also decide that you're not just going to go for painkillers, you're going to have some therapy. Okay, so you may go somewhere and do some massage, chiropractic, I'm a chiropractor originally, osteopathy, physiotherapy, all great therapies, acupuncture, all great therapies, and they can help feel you great and get you back on your feet again. And you may even get some gentle exercises, and some rest and some gentle exercise and therapy. But again, it tends to be short-term relief. You're going to find out why. And then the pain comes back again. And this keeps on going round. So if you understand the next three concepts or the next three mistakes, you're going to understand why this keeps happening and what you can do. Yes, what you can do. So mistake number one. And this is probably the biggest mistake you could make, is focusing on the site of pain. So back pain, so ow, pain, ow, in the lower back. And most people think, that's where the pain is, that's where the problem is. But when you are bending forward to pick something up, this is my bad stick drawing inspired by Dave O'Sullivan, your legs, I'm going to do about 25% of the work. This is just an approximation just for demonstration purposes. 25% of the work, your lower back, 25% your upper back, and 25% your upper body. Because you need to be able to, your arms need to work in order to pick something off the floor. Your mid back needs to be worked, your upper back needs to be working, your lower back. But very often the reason people are in pain in the lower back is not because the lower back is weak, although often it can be weak and it needs to be rehabbed, is the fact that their legs may be weak. So the legs are only doing 10% of the work. The upper back could be weak, so that could only be doing 10% of the work. Your arms could be fine, so that means that the back is then doing instead, so let's put that down to 20% actually, then it's easier. So that means the back is then doing 60% of the work when you go and pick things up. So it's overworking, it's having to do all the work. Of course it's going to get fatigued and there's more likely to be an injury there because other things aren't working. Now, it's not always going to be like this. It can be completely different things. And also, we can look at you side to side. And it could be that one leg is working 100%, but the other leg is weak. Or one side of your lower back is weak and the other side is strong. And it can be 50% of the time, it's the side that's the strongest, that's the painful side, because it's doing all the work. So this can arise out of habits, the way you sit, but it can also arise from past injuries. So it could be that you've sprained an ankle in the past that caused you to compensate and not use the ankle properly. So your body's favouring one side more than the other. It could be an old knee pain, it can be an old shoulder injury. So that means every time you're going to lift and bend and pick something up, basically, instead of the shoulder being able to work properly, the lower back has to work harder. And I saw a case of this just recently with a guy who's really fit and strong, okay, and he got low back pain from a lifting injury, and his low back was fine. It was his shoulder that was weak. And then he remembered, oh yeah, my shoulder's been a problem for 2 years, but no one looked at that. So that's mistake 1.1, okay, when it comes to not focusing on the right area. Now just imagine if you've got a problem and you're focusing on the pain, okay, if you've got something else lurking in your body, do you really think your back pain is going to be fixed, especially by a painkiller? Because a painkiller may cure the pain, but is it going to make your legs stronger, your arms stronger, your upper back stronger? And also, a painkiller is going to make a difference to what's happening next. Okay, again, not focusing on the area of pain is key. Okay, so mistake number 1, parts 2 and 3. Now, number 1 is S. Stress. So many of the people coming to us in pain, or headaches, back pain, stomach problems, whatever, okay, they find that they're worse when they're stressed, when they're under a great deal of pressure, whatever, emotional stress, even the stress of sitting in the same place all the time. It causes more pain. And some people say that, yeah, when they're stressed, you know, they can have massage, they can have therapy, they can have painkillers, and just nothing lasts very long. So it's very, very important that the levels of stress in your life are actually analysed, and we look at ways of mitigating and changing how stress affects you, because there are things you can do to actually, we can't actually change the amount of stress on your life, or maybe we can, but there are lots of things that you can do to make yourself more resilient to stress that have got nothing to do with strengthening the lower back muscles, having therapy on the low back, or taking painkillers. It's actually about improving your stress resilience, and there are a number of ways to do that. Now the other one, F, food. We are what we eat and what we drink. Now, I don't know if you have ever tried to build a house, okay, and build a house from bricks and mortar, and you're trying to build the house with bricks but with no mortar. It's going to fall down a lot. And this is what food is when it comes to actually rebuilding muscles and ligaments and discs and nerves. You can have all the therapy and all the painkillers. You can even have injections and surgery. But if you haven't got the right food and nutrients and the right hydration going into the body, you cannot make muscles and ligaments and tissues strong again. You just can't make them without the raw materials. And one of the most important things for discs is actually hydration. Because if you're dehydrated, the discs shrivel, they're more likely to bulge or get brittle and break. They're going to decrease the holes here where the nerves come out. And again, you can have all the hydration in the world and drink all the water you want, but if you haven't got the right nutrients that actually suck water into the discs, that's going to be a problem. So you've got to assess people's stress, you've got to look at what food and nutrition is going on as well. I've seen people with raging sciatica and disc problems. I've even seen a gentleman who'd been shuffling around for 10 years from something that happened after he had an operation to help on a vein in his leg, and he could only shuffle. And all we did was change their diet, did no physical therapy whatsoever, changed his diet, and 3 days later he could walk normally. So do not ignore stress and do not ignore the food you're eating. It can cause a huge change very quickly. So a quick exercise, okay, is just think of, you know, when you've gone to a therapist before, or even not gone to a therapist basically, but just think, are there any areas and times in your life where you've injured yourself or you've become under a lot of stress and it's changed your breathing, it's changed how you felt, okay? And have therapists in the past, if you have seen therapists, have they actually assessed those past injuries, those stressful events, taken those into account? Now imagine, okay, thinking back to here, imagine if we can find out all the imbalances in your system and we can fix them, if we can actually build resilience to stress in your life, if we can actually look at your diet and nutrition and see what's going on there and fix that, so that when you get out of pain, it doesn't come back again. How good would that make you feel? And also just imagine if you had more resilience to stress and you had a better diet and you had a lifestyle, how much better would you feel in all other areas of your life? Because they're all interconnected. So mistake number 2, which kind of follows on a little bit, is a lack of a plan, a proper plan. Because as you saw when looking at the pitfall cycle, it's basically, you know, well, we do some work or you take some rest or you take some painkillers until you feel out of pain. And then what? You wait for it to come back again because you haven't attended to diet, nutrition, stress, and you haven't had a rehab plan to fix all the old injuries that your body's just compensating for. So it's putting all the pressure on your back or your neck or your shoulder. So you need a proper plan, not just, oh, we're going to treat you till you're out of pain. We need something that's actually going to take you beyond out of pain and to actually better. So mistake number 3, which is kind of related, okay, is skipping steps in the plan. And this is a big one. And again, this is something that I got from Dave O'Sullivan. Okay, so basically people come in there in a lot of pain, ouch, okay, and then they slowly get better. They may have a bit of a rehab situation, doing some exercises. And usually people are giving them some gentle exercises and they think that's all they have to do for the rest of their life, but they're just doing simple stuff for relief. They're not doing anything to get them stronger again. And the thing about, and usually people get out of pain, okay, and then say you want to get back running again, or you want to get back to sitting for 8 hours a day working. In real life, there's this big hump to get over, okay, before you can really get well again. And this is where proper graded ideas of rehab are actually not just giving you some relief exercises, but actually giving you some things that actually are a bit more like real life, that address the situations you're in. Like if you want to be able to run again, it's not just about doing some simple floor stretches. It's about doing things that mimic what happens when you're running. It's about doing things that show you how to sit properly. It's about doing things that show you how to get the leg muscles or the arm muscles or the back muscles stronger again in such a way that they mimic what you're actually doing that's the hurdle to get over. So you can actually get to here. So you can be nice and happy and pain-free. I hope that makes sense. So again, when you've sort of tackled pain in the past, you know, have you just been sort of doing sort of stuff until you're pain-free and then you're doing the same exercises that were you given at the beginning? Or you can doing the same exercise to try and get you over this hurdle here, or have you got now a different plan? Now you're pain-free. Have you got something different to do to get your system stronger and better? Whether it is exercise or whether it's a nutrition plan, or whatever it is. Now just imagine what life would be like if you got that all in place. So, what's next? Well, it's the 7-step system. Again, thanks Dave O'Sullivan for actually clarifying this in my mind, because this is what we do here at Body and Balance. First of all, we listen to you and we ask more questions than most people do to actually find out what's happened in the past, what's really going on. Our intake forms are very comprehensive. It doesn't just ask you, oh, do you have back pain? We look at all the symptoms throughout the entire of your body. We ask you what you are eating because it can all be connected. So we ask questions and we listen. And then we can go through an examination. Once we've actually really listened and got a lot of data, we can go through an examination to actually find out and make sense with what is going on with you. Why do things keep on coming back? Then we can give you an explanation. I've put an extra L in explanation there. There we go. Explanation, and a clear explanation, which I hope just by looking at what I've already shown you, you're probably already getting an idea about what might be going on with you. So we use simple things to give you a clear explanation so you have clarity, because when you have clarity as to what's actually wrong, it's actually going to improve how you feel about what you can do to get better. And then here we can give you, in the clinic, we can hands-on therapy. We've got various tools and modalities. We can use certain nutrition. We can use nutrition interventions to help decrease pain and inflammation, like short-term things. Okay, and we can work to ease the pain and the inflammation in your body in a way that actually stimulates the healing response, unlike painkillers, which actually deaden the healing response. And then we can build you a bespoke rehab and lifestyle plan. So you may just need a rehab plan. We may need to look into your diet and nutrition more in depth in order to allow the rebuilding to happen from the inside. There's also environmental toxins. Environmental toxins that cause heart disease, for instance. I'll just go to a bit of a side. The same things like air pollution actually causes heart disease and causes blood pressure to go up. These environmental pollutants also can cause muscles to contract, discs to actually dehydrate and become more brittle and become atherosclerotic as well. So it's very important to actually take into account all of these things. So we can build you a bespoke plan once we've actually listened and made sense. And then we use email and video to actually, with an email lifestyle course, health and nutrition, exercise plans, we can try and email as much to you as possible so you've got it there as a resource as well, And then finally, step 7 is we can show you how you can continue to improve. So we can get you not just sort of out of pain, not just over that hump, but we can actually show you, okay, well, what do you want to do? How healthy do you want to really be? Because we can take you further if you so wish. So if you know that you actually want to get in contact and do something right now, then you can contact us at bodyinbalance.uk.com, or you can look us up in Hertfordshire, Body in Balance. Also, you can find us under the Pain Relief Centres in Hertfordshire, and our current phone number is 01707 662704. You can also find us on YouTube, Dr. Chris Pickard. And not that I'm a real doctor, I'm a doctor originally of chiropractic. So thank you very much for listening. Doctor also means educator, which I really believe that I am good at for you. So thank you very much for watching. If you want the rest of the series, email us, contact us, and we'll make sure you get the other 9 videos that go with this, that start going into practical steps that you can start taking right now at home without having to go out and buy anything, do anything, go anywhere, no equipment needed. Okay, thank you very much. Be magnificently healthy.